Happy Christmas, everyone. Okay, I know it's December 1st and maybe I'm a little too early, but at least I waited till December. I can't do my intro. What is wrong with me? Anyway, happy Christmas. I know it's early, whatever. You know and I know that Christmas started on November 1st, not December 1st. At least I had the decency to wait till December for to put up my Christmas tree. Yes, I did put up my Christmas tree. I might have gotten a little bit excited, but I don't care. I don't care. I want my Christmas tree to be there for the longest time, like 2 months. I'm gonna take it down at the end of January or like February, or I don't know, when the snow melts. Not in Taiwan, when the snow in Poland melts. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Happy Christmas, where we get to hear a specific song on repeat. Now. No. Oh my god, Christmas tree are too messy though. Well, mine is like fake. It's not an actual, like, you know, it's not the Christmas tree that loses needles or anything. It's a fake Christmas tree, but I keep it and I've kept it for like a couple of years. 4 years? Have I had it for 4 years? Probably. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, hi, I'm sorry for messing up my intro. My brain thinks of lines and my brain thinks of like nice intro, but then my mouth is just like, ha, that's cute. That's cute. It's cute that you're trying. But hi, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, hi, I'm FEARSONA. You can call me Sona, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills as always. And today we're gonna be talking about possibly the deadliest chat room in the whole world. And wait, no. I was just looking at my chat and I got distracted. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and I wanted to thank my Patreon members for being there yesterday to help me choose some emotes. You know, I was sketching some emotes, and we did manage to choose and kind of like I managed to sketch 10. So this is the result. We sketched it yesterday. Well, I sketched it yesterday, but my angry mob over on Patreon helped me decide on on the theme, on the new emotes that are coming in 2025. Possibly, I mean, definitely when I debut with my new design, because you have a sneak peek. You get a little sneak peek of what the new design kind of looks like. But yeah, just a little bit of a sneak peek. Okay, guys, how do we even do emotes? Well, I mean, you guys were there in the chat as consultants, okay? As advisors to advise me on what to draw and like what mood do we go with, and yeah, like that was a huge help actually, because I didn't really have any ideas. Like I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wing it. I haven't decided what emotes do I want to draw, so it was a huge help. Thank you so much, you guys. The lurk one looks good. Thank you. Yeah. The lurk one is a babushka. It's kind of a babushka, just like peeking out from behind the wall. I really like them. Thank you, Bacon, and thank you for being there. And Shai, thank you so much. Okay, I wasn't there. No worries, Fabian. But you know, a couple of you were there, and that was already great. Thank you so much for supporting my channel over on Patreon, and I hope you guys enjoy my Patreon only streams and cases. Are you feeling better, Sona? By the way, I can't wait to have full body chills. Omega Nitro, thank you so much for asking. Yes, I'm feeling much better. My insides are not melting. I am not bleeding. I'm not losing blood, and I'm not losing organs. So that's great. You know, I would say that's a win. That's a Christmas miracle. And yeah, yet again, magic of Christmas. I think I miraculously cured, healed. The moment December rolled in, I was just like, yes, I am cured. No, I did go to see my doctor on Saturday, and yeah, he told me that everything is okay. Everything's okay. I'm back to normal, and yeah, like I just have to be a little more careful with workouts. If I want to like work out, like I can't lift heavy stuff yet, like, you know, just be careful for the next few weeks. But overall, like he said, yeah, everything's good. You're not melting from the inside out, so that's I would say that's a net positive. So you're saying this was Christmas spirit? Yes, I think Christmas spirit cured me. I was just like, no, I am not staying in this hospital for until December. Like, I'm not staying. No, the moment, yeah, I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. I'm not missing Christmas. I'm not missing December. I'm not starting my December in a hospital. Which Inside Out? Both of them. I think both of them, just, you know, accumulation of melting Inside Out. That's the I think that's gonna be Inside Out 3. They should make that Inside Out 3. Just, you know, crisis, internal bleeding. What do we do? Huzzah! Huzzah! Exactly. Huzzah! Let's have turducken. No! No, that's cursed. No, I think turducken can. It's gonna get me. Like, it's a thing from nightmares. The Christmas Grim Reaper. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I think Christmas Grim Reaper is a little bit more merciful. You know, I think it had some like Christmas Grim Reaper had some mercy, because I was just like, please, come on, the last Christmas. Huzzah! Just like, okay, huzzah. You're cured. You can spend Christmas alive with your insides intact. Okay, turtle duckin. What? The ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future haven't got Sona yet. Yeah, I haven't got. I'm not got. They didn't get me. Okay, guys. Today we have another spooky case. And this is the last stream of the week, so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who showed up for my streams this week, because I know it wasn't scheduled. You know, I couldn't really make a schedule because I didn't know how it's gonna go with my medical situation, so I didn't have like an actual set schedule. But now that I have healed with the magic of Christmas, I can actually create a schedule for the next week, which means, yeah, you guys will know what's coming. You know, you're gonna know like which streams are you can show up to, which streams are maybe not great for you. I think I'm gonna start streaming at 5 p.m. Pacific time, like just a little bit earlier, because I feel like 6 p.m. it ends up being a little late for some of you guys. I'll try next week, like just streams at 5 p.m. and I do have a VTuber collab, which is at 4 p.m. Pacific time or 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not sure. I have to double check. But I do have a VTuber collab next week, and I have a couple of things planned out. So yeah, look for. I hope you guys are looking forward to December. And yeah, I've changed my background because it's Christmas time. Come on, December 1st. Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay. And David says, you mean the magic of matcha latte? That too. Magic of Christmas and matcha latte. You know, that's I think it could cure cancer. I think it's gonna magic of Christmas plus matcha latte the way I make it, I order it. Those two things, I think they could save the world. I think that's what you know, the big pharma doesn't want you to know. It's the magic of Christmas and Sona approved matcha latte. It cures everything. Magic matcha latte. No, not on the no. Oh my god, no. Why? Oh my god, Fabian, why? Why do you betray me like that? See, I thought you were on my side, but I don't think you are. I like the holiday background. Yes, Jamie, thank you so much. It was made by a very, very talented artist. Let me, because I forgot the name, but I do have the link in the description of this video. If you want to check them out, there's a link in the description so you can check the artist out. And AM Pete, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Sona. Hi, everyone. And thanks for a member from previous stream. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. And thank you so much to whoever gave the memberships. There were a couple of people that were giving memberships. So thank you so much, you guys. Shai, why? I can't, you know what, Shai, I forgive you because you've you just shared that, I don't know, like yesterday, like whatever happened, that, you know, your life is full of surprises. Your life is full of like, you're living on the edge. So I can forgive you for this once you get a pass once. After what I heard yesterday, you get a pass. Okay, guys, I think it's time, without further ado, let's get right into the case. So picture this. A 14-year-old boy lying on the ground in a dark alleyway, his body bleeding from a knife, which pierced his liver, his kidneys, causing him excruciating pain. He is gasping for air, certain that these are his final moments, and the face hovering over him, the one holding the knife, isn't that of a stranger. It's his best friend. And also, Shai, no two passes. No, I don't forgive you. I don't forgive you for that one, but I thank you for the supa. So this is what happens next. He hears, "Trust me," which was spoken by his friend, pressing the blade into his stomach again. And then the friend says, "I love you, bro." Also, Baxter, thank you so much. Reverse fun fact. Jesus. Reverse fun fact. Turducken is a form of engastration. Also, thank you so much for the supa, which was $5. Thank you so much. Engastration with roots as far back of ancient Rome. What? It wasn't just used with poultry. P.S. Happy or well. Thank you so much, Baxter, but also, what the fuck? And Fabian, thank you so much for the supa. Guys, I'm trying to... Okay. Thank you so much. I'm on all sides. I'm sorry that I ain't sorry. Radio, tuna and radio. Jesus, that's... You guys are killing me. You have to choose a side, okay? There's no like, oh, I'm not on any side. I'm not on any side. No. You're either on the right side, which means tuna, or you're on my blacklist. Okay. Okay, so the friend says, "Trust me," and then presses the knife into the victim's stomach again, and then follows with, "I love you, bro." Blood was everywhere. John screamed for help, but Mark, so the perpetrator, right? John is the victim. John's screaming for help. But Mark begged him to stay quiet so no one would hear while stabbing him. Mark eventually called for help. He told the ambulance and police that some random man had attacked his friend, a stranger in dark clothing. Police issued a public statement for this supposed assailant, a narrative that at first seemed to fit, like two teenage boys in a dark alley, and they got attacked by this adult male, like adult guy in a hoodie and in dark clothing, and he stabbed John. After all, this wasn't a neighborhood where random stabbings happened, so police were definitely alarmed. But John carries more to, John was left God, I can't speak. John was left with more than just physical scars. And the scars were pretty deep. So the wounds he suffered that night weren't just minor. One stab to his chest left a mark, but the deeper one, 6 inches into his abdomen, was life-threatening. It pierced his kidney and liver and cost him his gallbladder. Twice, surgeons nearly lost him as his lungs stopped working due to blood pooling in his chest cavity. For days, he lay in the hospital, silent, connected to a respirator, battling the pain and infection. When John finally spoke, because he survived, by the way, and also Baxter, thank you so much for the supa. Radio Tuna, we're all Finns. Hey, now in stereo. Oh, God. Okay, so John actually survived, and when he finally spoke to the police, his story was chilling. He revealed that the person who stabbed him wasn't just a stranger, it wasn't a random act of violence, it was his best friend, a boy we will call Mark, because those two names, by the way, they are fake. They're not real. To this day, we don't actually know who these two boys were. Right, the public doesn't know their actual names, because this was a case from the UK. I'll explain, but the public doesn't really know who these two boys were. But the public knows the whole story. So we're gonna talk about the whole story of John and Mark. So John said that he didn't understand why Mark did it, but his friend's words during the attack are hard to forget, right? Love you, I love you, I love you, bro. Trust me. See, this isn't the plot of a psychological thriller. It's a horrifying reality that unfolded on a summer night in 2003 in a quiet alley called Green Goose in Greater Manchester. The victim, a boy we will call John, barely survived. So we have two actors, right? Like two people here, John and Mark. And the attacker was his close friend, Mark, a boy he described as perfect and out of my league. John described Mark as perfect and out of my league. So what led to this chilling betrayal? This was no random crime. This was the culmination of months of manipulation, lies, and a sinister digital web that pulled two teenagers into a deadly game of deception. Okay, so first things first. With the revelation brought by John, right, that it was Mark, and also after police checked the CCTV footage from the alley, Mark was no longer just a witness. He was now the prime perpetrator of the stabbing, right? Because police saw in this CCTV footage that Mark and John were the only ones in that back alley, in that alley on that night. There was no one else. There wasn't any, guy in dark clothing that attacked them. It was just the two of them. So confronted with the evidence, Mark confessed. It was him, like it was Mark, who stabbed John. But why? Now, hold on to your seats. And I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. You really have to pay attention. This is just the intro of this case. It's not much. Like you can still understand what's going on. Hold on to your seats because this case is gonna get out of control, and I'm gonna warn you, you really have to pay attention because it's super confusing and it's gonna get freaking crazy. And if you don't listen from start to finish, so you can't leave, you're locked in, okay? You cannot leave the stream, you're gonna be confused. If you stop listening, I swear to God, if you stop listening for 5 seconds, you turn around and you stop listening for 5 seconds and then you tune back in, you will be like, what the fuck happened? When did this happen? How? Yeah, like that's how bad this is. Okay, so we're gonna get, this is the start of the most confusing case I've ever covered. Okay, so why? Why did Mark stab his best friend John? Mark's explanation for his actions was straight out of a spy thriller. According to him, he had been ordered to stab John by none other than Agent Janet Dobinson, a high-ranking British spy mistress working for MI5. Mark believed Janet was grooming him for the Secret Service. She promised him wealth, 80 million pounds, no less. She promised him prestige, the chance to meet Prime Minister Tony Blair and the Queen, and even personal favors, including sexual rewards from Janet herself. Yes, this is how it starts, and it spirals completely out of control. If you thought this is out of control, oh boy, excuse me, oh yeah, 80 million pounds. And Janet didn't speak like a teenager, she spoke like an adult. She was very, very believable. She demanded adult language and carried herself with an air of authority. And she would tell Mark, quote, 4 agents are watching you now. And then she said, you must follow my instructions explicitly. Janet told Mark that he would get his own code name, and his code name was 47695. And he would join the Secret Service if he completed the mission. There was even an abort code, which was 6969. Don't joke about it, but yes, this was the abort code in case, they had to stop for some reason, like the mission couldn't go through. And the mission was to stab John. Outlandish as it sounded, Mark believed every word of this elaborate story because the way it was worded, the way Janet spoke and explained things to Mark in detail, it was just too detailed and too elaborate. It connected perfectly to, you know, in his teenage brain, it just connected and made perfect sense. Oh God, I can't speak. And soon, Agent Janet gave Mark his first real-life mission to kill John. So he had different missions, but this one was the final mission. Also, I think someone, wait, someone send me a super and I missed it? I think someone sent me, oh no, never mind, that was Baxter. I thought it was, the last one was someone else too. Okay, so that's how it starts, but it gets even more strange. So on June 28th, 2003, the day before the attempted murder, Mark responded to Janet. Quote, "You want me to kill him? That's what you're asking me." "Yes." "And just leave him to die? What should I say to him? Stand there a minute while I stab you?" "You love him." "I love him, but this has to be done?" "Take him to a quiet place. Buy a knife. Glove." "Where can you buy knives from, by the way?" "Boots." And then she instructed Mark to specifically tell John, "Love you, bro. Make sure he knows you love him." Yeah. But why? Again, why? Mark still like didn't understand why he had to kill John, whom he befriended online quite a while ago, a few months, like they've been friends for a few months. They became very close, best friends pretty much, because he didn't have any like really close friends. And now John had to die. Janet had answers for everything. So according to Janet, John was an imminent threat to national security. She told Mark that John was a liability, someone who had stumbled into dangerous knowledge that could jeopardize lives if he remained alive. And Jan. So Janet spun the narrative in which John had obtained sensitive information that posed a risk to the British government. If left unchecked, John's knowledge could fall into the wrong hands, you know, threatening innocent lives, threatening his own life, and possibly Mark's life, everyone's. And then Janet convinced Mark that he had been specifically selected by the British Secret Service to carry out this mission. She appealed to his sense of purpose, framing it as an act of heroism and loyalty to his country. Dum dum da dum 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 da dum. Oh, wait. Please ignore the fact that I messed up the movie screenshot. That's the wrong screenshot. Shit. That was not okay. I kind of messed up the song or the screenshot. I don't know how it happened, but I messed it. It was supposed to be the other one. It was supposed to be Mission Impossible. Shit. Oh, anyway, ignore. Sona, come on. I know I messed it up. Anyway, back to the story. Ignore. So Janet repeatedly emphasized that failing to act would lead to catastrophic consequences. John would not only endanger others, but would also be killed eventually by the enemy. And Janet argued that it would be more humane for Mark to eliminate John himself, ensuring a clean and honorable solution. Yeah. Are we being duped? We are being duped. We're totally being duped. So to further motivate Mark, Janet promised him wealth, prestige, money and prestige, and personal rewards if he succeeded in carrying out the mission. She claimed, and I am not kidding, she claimed that there was a secret safe holding billions of British pounds, which was secured at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And Janet explained that the funds in the safe were part of a classified government reserve meant for use in critical national security operations. And she told Mark that by providing his loyalty and proving his loyalty and completing his mission, he would be inducted into this exclusive circle of elite operatives, and he would gain access to the safe's contents. Like, basically, the safe would open, the safe would scan his whole body, and then it would open, and he would gain access to billions of British pounds that rest at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. I am not kidding, you guys. This is just the beginning, by the way. This is still just the beginning of this case. Holy shit. I am running out of breath. Oh my god, I don't think we have that tag. Oh my god, I don't see, we are, but to a 15-year-old, we absolutely do. You know, the British government absolutely does. Oh my god, oh wait, there's more. Oh, there's more. This is like the first, I don't know, guys, I have 10 pages of notes. In this case, we're just like on page 2, maybe page 3. Okay. Then Janet also painted John as a willing participant, as I said, in this supposed mission. She suggested that John pretty much knew his fate and was prepared to die for the greater good. Yeah, I don't know about that. We're being duped. This twisted justification made the act seemed less like a crime and more like a sacrifice. You know, she said John is ready. He knew the risks and he is ready to bear the consequences. So police starts investigating Mark's activity online after this story, right? Like, after Mark tells them about this Janet Dobinson and the MI5 and just Secret Service and the safe at the bottom of the ocean with billions of pounds that belong to the Queen, but the Queen will be happy to share it with Mark if he murdered his best friend. Yeah. Oh, and also he's gonna get sexy favors from Janet, because that comes in money, prestige, sexy favors, and billions of dollars that he has to, you know, go to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean for. Sunny Rainy Day, thank you so much for the super. Hey, we should sentence him to 20 years of education. I think we should, yeah, like, I think that a lot of people should be sentenced to just like some education here, because in this case, because everyone was confused. Okay, so Sona is always scuff. Am I always scuff? I'm always scuff. Of course I'm always scuff. Come on. That's so different from when they said John had secret knowledge and had to be killed as a result. I know, right? Janet must have been smoking hot. Well, I mean, she was apparently this 44-year-old sexy secret service agent, so I don't know. I don't know if she sent pics. Okay, so police starts investigating Mark's activity online. Specifically, his conversations with the supposed, you know, agent Janet Dobinson, which began in March 2003. And that's when they discover another plot twist. 4 months after John narrowly survived being stabbed, the case took an absolutely shocking and unprecedented turn. Also Baxter, but on the off chance it's true. Hey, celebration. On the off chance it's true, let's just do it. No, don't do it. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, 4 months later, the case takes another shocking turn. Mark, his best friend and attacker, right? Like Mark, the perpetrator, he still faced charges for attempted murder, a charge he would eventually admit to. But what no one saw coming was that John, the victim, would also find himself in the courtroom accused of inciting his own murder. Yep, you heard it right. John, a teenager who nearly lost his life, was now being held responsible for orchestrating the crime against himself. This was a legal first in the UK. and probably anywhere in the world at the time. Yeah, I know. That's why I told you, like, you have to listen to this case from start to finish. Like, you turn around and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Why is now John accused of, like, murdering himself? Yeah, John was now accused of orchestrating the whole thing. And he got stabbed, right? Like, oh, he was orchestrating his own stabbing. So, make yourself comfortable. Get your hot beverage, you know, like, just be sure that you go to the toilet right now. To go, if you have to go, you have to go now, because it's gonna get super confusing. So I'm giving you like 5 seconds to go, and then you're, yeah, like then it's done. So you'll be confused. The hell are they on? I don't know. Online, MSN. Okay. So how does someone become accused of planning their own murder? To understand, we have to dive into the twisted web of deception that John wove online. For months, he and Mark had communicated through internet chat rooms. John, younger, 14 years old, but deeply manipulative, had a talent for crafting elaborate fantastical stories. And Mark, on the other hand, was eager to believe everything John fed him. In January of 2003, John started frequenting an MSN chat room for Manchester's teenagers. 14-year-old John wasn't really a popular kid by any means. He felt disconnected from the real world, which he found alienating and just unfulfilling. You know, he couldn't really make friends. The chat room provided pretty much like a way for him to escape into a fantasy world where he could control the narrative, he could control all the characters, create characters that he wanted, and interact with people on his terms, so he could manipulate people. John was described as a, quote, slightly withdrawn personality, end quote, with a few real connections in the outside world. The chat room allowed him to, again, like, interact with people, although through fabricated identities, without the anxiety or rejection he might have faced in face-to-face situations. So he was a very socially awkward person. He didn't really make friends outside of the internet. Because he was afraid of rejection, he couldn't really control the narrative outside of the internet. But on the internet, he could control everything. In the chat room, John was able to craft multiple personas that others would admire or fear, which gave him a sense of power and importance. He could invent stories that gained the attention and validation, you know, he craved, something that he wasn't really getting in his day-to-day life. Mark, on the other hand, he was just like your regular kid. I think the only thing that he had really going on in life was soccer. Like that's what his life was revolving around. But he did have friends like on the team. But somehow he ended up drawn into the chat room space by the chat room's anonymity and the chance to engage in conversations with interesting people. So that's how Mark ended up in the chat rooms too. John started talking to Mark as 16-year-old Rachel West, as part of his larger strategy to manipulate and control him in the chat room. So now, sorry, I kind of like messed it up. So here's Mark and John, right? Like we have Mark and John, and then why is it John and Rachel? I'm gonna explain. So this is 16-year-old Rachel West. That's John, by the way. Both of those characters, John, Rachel, same person. But Rachel was one of many personas that John created to weave this complex and persuasive narrative that would keep Mark hooked and, ultimately make him more susceptible to his influence. So John introduced Rachel as the 16-year-old stepsister of the victim, so John himself. So John introduced Rachel as, oh, it's my stepsister, right? Well, I mean, he started talking to Mark as Rachel. So he was just like, oh, I'm Rachel, and John is my stepbrother. By making Rachel a step-sibling, John created a familial, bond that would help him manipulate Mark. And also it would help him kind of, introduce himself to Mark eventually. This allowed him to develop a sense of shared experience and closeness between Rachel and Mark. So Rachel's profile picture was of a conventionally attractive, like girl. Of course, it was just an image of a pretty girl grabbed from the internet, but it was enough to get Mark interested and drop his guard down. As Rachel, John could present himself as someone with whom Mark could share his feelings, maybe even like presenting Rachel as a friend or someone like he could trust with secrets. This further solidified their connection, making Mark basically more likely to trust Rachel because Mark started to like Rachel. And building this bond was very critical in luring Mark deeper into the web of deceit John had constructed. Guys, it's gonna get fucking confusing. I haven't even gotten to like spies, but yes, this is how it started. Rachel, flirting with Mark. And as part of the broader narrative John had constructed, Rachel was introduced as someone who had knowledge or was somehow involved in the spy world. That's how the spy narrative kind of was woven in, and I'm gonna explain why. So John fed Mark the idea that Rachel was involved with the British Secret Service or had connections to secretive and powerful figures, making her story all the more intriguing to Mark. And it was for a reason, which I'm gonna get to. Rachel's characters and her connection to John himself allowed him to soon appear in the chat room as himself, right? And be quote unquote introduced to Mark as her stepbrother. So first was Rachel, then John kind of entered the chat room as himself. In February 2003, a new character appeared in John's universe, Kevin McGregory. So John, as Rachel, would tell Mark about this guy Kevin, who was supposedly obsessed with Rachel and was also stalking her. According to quote unquote Rachel, Kevin was, starting to threaten her and John, which made Mark feel very protective of Rachel and deepened his emotional investment in the unfolding drama. So there is John, there is Rachel, there is Kevin, who is stalking Rachel and John and threatening them. This is not over. This is not over because that's just a couple of characters. So John starts to create stories of espionage and danger, subtly saying that or laying this groundwork for the introduction of Janet Dobinson, because John kind of told, well, as Rachel, he told. Let me just say it that way. Rachel told Mark that, hey, because Kevin is stalking us and Kevin is threatening us, like, oh, we're in contact with the Secret Service, they are protecting us, they're like trying to help us and solve this problem with Kevin. And so this is the introduction of Janet Dobinson. So Janet came into play in March 2003. A 44-year-old British intelligence agent. She presented herself as part of the MI5 and claimed to be working to protect Rachel from Kevin and other threats. Around April 2003, so a month after Janet was introduced, John's online universe expanded even more with more characters that came and went. Like basically they come and go. They are minor characters created to reinforce Janet's authority and the credibility of her claims. So this is the little infographic, because if you got confused, because I sure did, so I needed that. So yes, there's John. This is all of those people are John. So I'm just laying it out here. This is John and all of his character. Well, not all, but there were more characters, but minor characters. But the main characters were Rachel, obviously, Janet. There was Kevin, the stalker. There was Mike, a fellow Secret Service operative who occasionally interacts with Mark to confirm Janet's narrative. There's Lindsay, another female agent who corroborates Janet's stories. Then there were various unnamed agents who are occasionally mentioned and they pop into the chat room to create impression of a larger organized network watching over Mark. So after a while, Janet said like, oh yeah, like when Mark was kind of involved in the Secret Service operation, Janet would tell him like, oh yeah, like your mailman, your milkman, your whatever, well, milkman, your mailman, I don't know, like your, the bank, I don't know, like the school teacher, like everyone is an agent and they are observing you. So Mark was getting paranoid whenever he went out. He would think that, oh, all those people, like, oh, shop assistant or, you know, like shop clerk, everyone was an agent around him. That's what Janet told him, that everyone was observing him. Yeah, it's confusing. At this point in the narrative, John, pretending to be Kevin, he started threatening Mark, saying that he would kidnap Rachel and harm her if Mark didn't do exactly as he said. So Mark had to comply. One of the requests was for Mark to well, I don't even know how to say. I don't know if YouTube is gonna like demonetize it if I say that, but masturbate in front of his webcam. Yes, I'm just gonna break that word up because I don't want to like get banned. But yes, Mark had to masturbate in front of his webcam so that Kevin could watch him. Obviously, Kevin wasn't on the webcam, but he had to watch him. One of the conversations between Mark and Rachel about this thing read as follows. Wank. You wanking on camera for them. What else can I do? Oh my god. Why is he making you wank? 'Cause he's gay. You don't have to do anything for me. I do, Rach. I love you. I love you too. This is just sad. I mean, that's horrifying and also sad. And then after all he did, you know, after he complied with Kevin's outlandish, you know, and horrible requests or horrible threats and demands, a tragedy struck. Kevin abducted Rachel. Well, in the narrative, Kevin abducted Rachel, and shortly after, John informed Mark that Rachel was dead. She was raped and murdered by her stalker and his accomplices. I'm just like, I know I'm stuttering on certain words, but I don't know if YouTube is gonna demonetize this, so I am changing some words. So yes, Rachel was dead. Kevin would actually text Mark to taunt him for days and weeks, sending him messages like this one. Kicked all her stomach, put her head underwater, then out, freezing cold, and she stained my sheets when she was bleeding. You weren't there for her, however much she screamed for you. That is absolutely sick. Mark was understandably devastated because he loved Rachel, even if later it turned out that she was fake, like she was real to him, and he just lost her in this unbelievably, unimaginably cruel way. So he was you know, understandably devastated. After Rachel's death, or after Rachel's supposed death, John introduced the character of Lindsay East. So this, you know, this other secret service agent I mentioned before, and she was there to give Mark all the information he required. He was required to become a member of the agency, and it was going smoothly until Mark started to yet again show romantic interest in this new female character, which upset John. It made John jealous of himself, because John is all of those characters. So he was jealous of Rachel because Mark was telling Rachel that he is in love with her. Now he's jealous of Lindsay, so Lindsay had to go. Lindsay had to die. She actually ended up, in the narrative, she ended up killed by the British government on April 27, 2003, which traumatized Mark even more, because he thought all those people were dying around him. But John had some mercy. He decided to bring Rachel back from the dead. Yes, Rachel is coming back. he told Mark that Rachel is actually miraculously alive, but she was in a coma. Oh, by the way, even though Mark and Rachel never met in real life, suddenly, Rachel gave birth to Mark's baby. She was pregnant, and she gave birth while in a coma. And then, after giving birth to Mark's baby in a coma, Rachel vanished completely, never to be heard from ever again. What is going on in this story? What is going on? What's going on? This is out of control. So yeah, Rachel is out. And then Lindsay is out. Then Rachel comes back. Then she gives birth. Then she's in a coma. I mean, she's in a coma while giving birth. And then she disappears. And then she's out again. And Janet is back in, so Janet Dobinson, the agent, and she is not happy with John's behavior after Rachel's death, supposedly. Coma and pregnancy, question mark, because what the fuck. So, what's going on in this story, guys? I don't know. Mark should at least see his imaginary child. I know, right? Like, where's the birth certificate? Where's the child? At least send a pic of the child, like being like, oh, existing, or you know, I don't know. He was invested, okay? He was a father now. Yeah, no, but Rachel never comes back. She gave birth. She was in a coma. I don't know if she died or she just disappeared with the baby. Who knows? I'm losing my brain cells, man. Believe me, I was having a very hard time while trying to write this down, trying to actually compile this into a story, like trying to compile this like timeline, the timeline of like what was happening and what's what and who's who and what happened. I probably got some of it wrong, honestly. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was so confusing that I don't know if my the order of everything that was happening is correct. It's probably some of it might be like, you know, and like out of order, but you get the gist. Immaculate Conception. Yes, exactly. This was a Christmas miracle in April. Pretty much. Okay, so Rachel is out. Janet Dobinson is back in. So Janet intensifies and the stakes by revealing that John, you know, the real life John, is a security risk and must be dealt with for the greater good, because he was apparently behaving out of control. He was getting out of control after Rachel's death and after coma / death / childbirth. I don't even know. But he was apparently like out of control. You know, he was traumatized and he was acting very recklessly. And to further solidify this, John likely dropped hints or outright suggested that his own existence or actions were somehow undermining the security of the operation by positioning himself as a liability, someone who was out of control and compromised. He made Mark believe that eliminating him was the only logical course of action for the safety of the mission and those involved, and for the safety of the world. And then it kind of got bad. I mean, very bad. So by May 2003, Mark began spending more than 12 hours a day online, deeply engrossed in the chat room. He wasn't eating, he wasn't really showering, he wasn't really doing anything. He was just sitting at his computer. His obsession with the characters and the unfolding plot isolated him from his family and real world responsibilities. He wasn't doing anything aside from chatting and sleeping. That's it. Mind you, at this point, Mark and John start meeting in real life as well, eventually. And John was very clearly infatuated with Mark, but his love was very much one-sided. Moreover, John noticed that Mark was rather popular with girls. You know, he was on the soccer team and he did have some friends, and he was apparently pretty popular with girls, and that made John jealous, angry, heartbroken. It made him want to end his life to not be hurt anymore. Somewhere in between, however, there's some information, and this is, well, that happened, so I'm gonna share it. So somewhere in between this internet soap opera and John's love for Mark, there's information that John invited Mark over to his house once for a sleepover, and the two spent the night watching videos, corn videos, yes, and engaging in oral activities. I will not say this because YouTube is gonna kick me out. So yes, they engaged in oral activities while watching corn videos. Yeah, videos about corn. What did you think? It's about like canned corn, how canned corn is made. What did you think? You guys have dirty minds. I can tell. Yes, corn. Just figure it out on your own. I'm not gonna say that because YouTube will you know, take this video down. Anyway, also around the same time, mothers of both John and Mark discovered their online conversations with this supposed secret agent or grown-ass woman, Janet Dobinson, who was not a grown-ass woman because it was John, but you know, both mothers discovered the boys' like online activity, and that this 44-year-old woman was also manipulating them to perform sexual activities on webcam. So that's obviously illegal. They were both minors. Apparently, the moms then banned John and Mark from engaging further with this Janet Dobinson, and as well as they banned the boys from seeing each other in real life again or communicating, which was a huge blow to their friendship and John's romantic feelings for Mark, so he was devastated. John then spoke to a therapist. He revealed to his therapist that, well, if he were dead, he couldn't feel hurt or miss Mark anymore. So I think that's when the plan to incite his own murder was conceived. So John, as Janet, convinces Mark, sorry. Oh God. Am I gonna sneeze? Maybe not. Okay. So John, as Janet, convinces Mark that he is the chosen one. He is a chosen operative, codename 47695. Apparently this means maybe, like in some code, it means maybe. So yeah, Janet, you know, entrusts Mark with the critical mission of getting rid of John. And the reward obviously grows even more extravagant. Yeah, like remember the secret safe at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, containing billions of pounds, which has the full body scanner, and only Mark can open it because he now has, if he fulfills the mission, he now has you know, the highest clearance, so he can get that dough. Okay, and then as we know, in June 2003, Janet delivered the ultimate mission. So Mark must kill John to prevent a national security disaster. Somehow. Well, is it safe? Well, the safe is safe. Bless you. Thank you, but I didn't sneeze. It's okay. Okay. To make it easier on Mark... are you guys lost? Are you guys confused by this story? I think I confused myself. I'm also like super confused. Even though I have my notes in front of me and I know this story already, I'm just like, what is going on? Why? So to make it easier on Mark, who still had a lot of doubts about killing his best friend, John decided, oh my god, another plot twist. I forgot about this plot twist. But yes, so Mark was still, you know, hesitant. He had a lot of doubts about stabbing his best friend, and kind of to make it easier on him, John actually decided to inform him that he had been diagnosed with a terminal form of cancer, a tumor in his brain, and he sent Mark a message that read, "I got a letter today from my doc when I went in a few weeks ago because I was depressed and shit. I got a brain thingy tumor, but it's big," end quote. And we know what happened next. The stabbing. Then Mark's police report about a stranger who stabbed John in the alleyway, which detectives quickly debunked and realized it was Mark who stabbed John, and John orchestrated the stabbing himself. So everything came out. Listen, guys, forensic analysts working for the police, obviously, later uncovered 133 gigabytes of data between the boys, which is a huge volume of data between two teenage boys. 133 gigabytes. Police then combed through 50. This is 2003, by the way. Now it might not be as it might not seem that a lot, because we have terabytes or whatnot. But 2003, that's like still like early stages of, maybe not that early stages of the internet, but early 2000s. And then police combed through 58,000 lines of text, barely scratching the surface of what John had created. And then Sally Hogg, a police analyst, explained the sheer scale of the evidence. She said this: if you converted all that data into paper, it would stack 46,000 feet high. That's how much it was. That's how much data there was. And Jesus Christ. And I was like, and they only managed to scratch the surface. They kind of managed to make sense of it, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck? There's a lot. So as they discovered, John spent countless hours at his laptop, crafting characters, scenarios, lies, drawing inspiration from films and his own life. From late afternoon until the early morning hours, he was glued to the screen. He apparently, just as Mark later, John stopped eating. He said, I stopped eating in March 2003. He stopped eating, which led to John being malnourished. Like, he was already slim, but then apparently after this whole like ordeal, he was like literally malnourished, because he was just like, oh, I stopped eating in March. And March versus June, like, I'm sure he ate something, but just barely ate. He was just that invested in this, whole deception. And, this case wasn't just about stabbing. It was about deception, addiction, and the desire to control, because John had, John, all he wanted was for Mark to love him and for him to be able to control Mark and control people online. Because both boys were minors, a court order barred anyone from revealing their names publicly, so the media was forced to use those fake names. So John and Mark, as I said at the beginning of this case, we don't really know their actual names, and the media couldn't even correct earlier reports of those fictitious knife-wielding stranger terrorizing Manchester. They couldn't really correct that. They were under strict orders from the court to not reveal anything, and it was very hard to find any information at the time. For them it was very hard to piece together information when it was coming out to light that this wasn't just a stabbing by some stranger. It was like this internet soap opera. Okay. As for the aftermath of the stabbing, the investigation, and the legal proceedings, there was a lot. When John recovered from his wounds, the consequences were inevitable. As the case moved to court, the questions lingered. Why had John done it? Mark couldn't believe how easily he had fallen for the elaborate lies that John had spun. After all, both boys were seemingly just ordinary teenagers. Nothing in their histories would suggest that they'd end up caught in such a horrifying web, such a horrifying scenario. Some speculate that John's motivations were driven by an intense, one-sided love for Mark, believing that the only way to escape this unreciprocated affection was through his own death. at Mark's hands. He wanted to still be connected to Mark somehow, even if he died. So the judge noted that the uniqueness of the circumstances. The judge said this: offenses of this kind under normal circumstances would result in an extremely lengthy custodial sentence, but these could not be described as any normal circumstances, end quote. So instead of long prison sentences, both John and Mark were handed supervision orders. John received 3 years, Mark 2. Honestly, I understand why, because this case was just so confusing, and it was just like, okay, well, Mark stabbed John, yes, but John actually manipulated Mark into stabbing him, and both boys are minors, and it was like this whole internet mystification and just internet soap opera, which was super convoluted. So I understand why the judge would be like, I don't even know what to do with you guys. I don't know who's at fault here. And I mean, John was the one that orchestrated this whole thing. So yes, like, he is at fault, and like, he's the mastermind. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know what punishment to give you, because this is crazy. Yeah, that's just, yeah, a whack. John is like the Joker, kind of. Yeah, like, I would say John should have gotten like a harsher sentence, but I don't know. I don't, like, see, I wouldn't even know. Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do. Like, the judge, I get why the judge was just like, I don't know. Like, you guys just get this. I'm just gonna give you this and go. So, okay, yes. So John and Mark were handed those like supervision orders. John 3 years, Mark 2, and they were also ordered to never meet again and were restricted in their access to the internet. No more chat rooms, no more anonymous personas. They were banned from communicating with each other. They couldn't see each other. They couldn't communicate in any way, shape, or form. Probably, I think that's probably the harshest punishment on John, because he was very much in love with Mark, and yeah, that was a pretty harsh one. So he can't see him ever again. As the case closed, prosecutor summed it up with a stark warning. He said, "This case serves as a reminder of the dangers lurking in the darker corners of the internet." End quote. A warning that continues to resonate as the story of the Green Goose stabbing reminds us how dangerous your online activity can be when it crosses the line from fantasy to reality, and when you believe, you know, everything that you see online. So you guys, don't blindly believe everything that you see online. You are welcome for this story, because this was fucking crazy. What? Why? I got confused. Well, I confused myself a lot while researching, while writing this story, while writing this my notes. Like, I was just like, what? Who is that? When did this person appear? What happened? Why did he believe this? Like, and there's not that much information outside, like online. Like, there is, but it's very confusing. So yeah, this happened. Joshua, thank you so much for tuning in. Hi everyone. Sorry, Sona, I fell asleep. No worries. Well, I mean, it's okay. It's understandable. You can rewatch the video. I highly recommend that you rewatch the video if you want to understand the whole story. Then for sure, just listen to the story. You mean to tell me you're not really a cartoon Polish girl detective? What? I lied? I never lied. No, that's me. That's me. That's just, you know, that's just like a kind of yeah, never mind. I have nothing. So many ways to debunk his creative character. I know, but you have to understand, they're not like adult people. And mind you, even adult people really get tricked, right? Like by scammers. Like adult people get tricked by scammers with like outlandish stories too. These guys were 14 and 15. They were kids. They were stupid kids. So, you know, and kids are gullible. And then, yeah, like, Sona is fake. Gasp, what? Sona would never lie. Yeah, the internet never lies. Remember that. No. Except it does. I'm gonna need to watch the VOD and take freaking notes. Yeah, seriously, you guys have to like. I think it's fine if you wanna rewatch this and like follow the story and try to like take notes. Like, oh, which one is this character? When did this start? When did this character come into play? Cause that was my reaction when I was writing this. I was like, what? Like, huh? Almost got scammed once, and I showed the text to my mom and she took care of it. Yeah, like that, right? Because it's now it's getting more and more elaborate. Like at the time it was like 2003, so I guess people just believed more crazier scenarios. But now it gets really believable, right? Like it feels realistic. And yeah, like all the scams, like, so you guys just be careful, be very, very careful online. Always check in with yeah, like one of my Patreon members, they messaged me and they were just like, oh, Sona, did you, because I got a text message from like supposedly customs that my package is withheld, right? Like, oh, and I'm supposed to like share some information with them. I just wanted to check in with you if this is a scam. But this actually, like, I did check it, and this particular Patreon member never provided a phone number. So when I was sending a package to them, right, like the mouse pad, I didn't have their phone number. So I was just like immediately like, hey, this is not, unless you ordered something else, like that's not, it wouldn't be my package, because like the package from me, because you didn't really provide a phone number. So that's, you know, that can't be customs. So yeah, like luckily we figured it out. Is this a true story? Yeah, this one is a true story. Wait, the one that I just told you about John and Mark? Oh, that's a true story too. Yeah, like the case is absolutely true. It's just that I don't have the real names of the real names because they were minors. But yeah, the Patreon one, yeah, it was a true story, yeah. Join Patreon, people, yeah. If you want to get those bonus cases, bonus true crime streams, and bonus weekly streams, as well as wallpapers, events, some merch, because I do run merch campaigns every once in a while. So I do, give some nice gifts to my Patreon members. Then you can check it out. Patreon.com/FEARSONA. Shameless self-promo, but why not? Check it out. I don't even know what to think about this case or even where to begin. I don't know where does it really start? That's the thing. Where does it really start? Because I was confused. I was trying to find out. Like at the end, like I managed to kind of get the timeline, more or less. But really, where does it start? Where does it end? Because it was very confusing. Feet pics? No. I can send you like Mothman feet pics. I can share that. I can offer you that. Oh God. Did Altharius write this case? I don't know. No, it's just a real case. Oh, what? Yeah, Mothman feed pics. Coming soon to Patreon. Free moth pic? Sure. John was really playing 5D chess with this one. Yeah, like 5D, 6D, I don't know, like multiverse. Yeah, multiverse chess with Mark, with everyone. Guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the case. As for next week, I don't have a schedule yet. But I did make my little, you guys saw this, some of you guys might have, if you follow me on Twitter, which I highly recommend because I also post a lot of updates there, then you might have seen the new schedule that is the new schedule design that I made. Oh wait, let me show you guys. This is not the upcoming week's schedule, but this is the schedule that I made. The recent design, ta-da! So I'll be using this for my schedules from now on. I hope you like it. And yeah, that's not the next week's schedule, but I will make one and post it either today or tomorrow. I'm just gonna kind of figure out like what cases to cover and everything. But thank you so much for background. Oh yeah, the background, this background. this artwork here on the left, it's available on Patreon for my Patreon members in the Platinum, Ruby, and Diamond tier as an artwork for your phone screen. So yeah, you can get this phone screen. I'm actually using it now on my phone. So hey, artwork, phone screen buddies. But yeah, it's available on Patreon. I see Intan couldn't send a text. Hey, listen, ignore that he didn't. No, whatever he claims, he deserved it. So just just so it's known, okay? Just so it's very clear. Whatever he sends me, that's deserved. Okay. Phone screen buddies. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're gonna call us. Phone screen buddies. You said he was safe. He is safe. He's always safe in my basement. What? I'm still a fan of the maid sauna. Oh yeah, the maid sauna is very cute too. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed the case. Stay safe out there. I'll be back with more cases on, I guess Tuesday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday with another stream. I don't know if it's gonna be a case or something else, but I will be back on Tuesday, and we will get back on track with cases, with spooky stuff. So safe. Yeah, safe. Stay safe at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Don't go diving. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and lakes, you know. Whatever the lyrics might be. But thank you so much, you guys, for today. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Bury your hexes. Until the next time. Bye. Thank you so much for gifting one membership, and also Shy, thank you so much for the super. So we just gonna ignore that text from mom. Hey, listen, my mom panics a little bit. She panics. She has dreams. She has prophetic dreams about that have nothing to do with me. They are not about me. They are about like uncle twice removed of a cousin, and then she's just like, "Are you alive? Are you dead?" And I'm like, did you call that uncle? No, why would I? Why would I call him? I'm like, he literally had a dream about him dying. Why are you calling me? Oh, because I thought I thought you were dead. So that's that. Also, a fun fact. Do you guys know, so the actor Christopher Lee, who plays Saruman in The Lord of the Rings, did you guys know that he's actually a metal singer? Yeah. That sink in. He's a metal singer. He kind of looks like he could be. Yeah, he has the face. He's got the look. I wanna see him in the Saruman costume, you know, the Saruman outfit and singing metal. So yeah, he sings to metal. Yes, to metal, to a sheet of metal. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's hard to believe. Well, it did. True story. Totally true story. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. Stay safe out there. Stay tuna. I'll see you next time. Bye. Maybe next time I'll have like a smooth intro. I'll actually manage to do my intro smoothly and not, I don't know, and not like mess it up. Yeah, probably not, but it's okay. Bye.